that around.
all gamped out. Okay, I don't know how many of you know Roswitha. She's been a member for, I don't know how many years.
10 years.
10 years. Probably 8 of them, she said very quietly in the middle of the circle and doesn't say anything. So you didn't really know if she was a member all those years or not, but I do know her name from when I used to do membership. I remember her name. You know, so now we're gonna really have her come out and show us everything that she's about and talk about how and why she became an artist, and so everyone will get to know you. Okay, no more shy girl.
Again, my name is Roswitha Williams. I'm a self-taught watercolor painter. I grew up in Germany, and as a young girl, I was always interested in art, and I always drew. I always had a sketch pad with me, and I drew landscapes, and I drew flowers all the time. And my dream was always to study art, but you know how it is with dreams, they don't always come true. So I ended up working in an office, being a civil servant in Germany. And one day my German girlfriend decided to move to the United States, and she invited me to come over and visit, which I did. And as I was visiting her, the husband's family, the word got around there's a German girl visiting. So the husband's cousins thought maybe I should take a closer look. And he came and he looked. And I guess he liked what he seen, and today I'm married to this wonderful man for over 40 years.
Wow.
So that's how I came to be in the United States.
Right.
And when the children were little, I have 2 sons. I didn't do any painting or drawing. I did a lot of arts and crafts, and I did a lot of sewing. I tried to decorate my home as good as I could, and I had a sewing machine. And I did the curtains, I sewed curtains. I did slip covers for my couches. I did arts and crafts, and I pretty much slip covered everything that was standing still. And I did some of the crafts, and some of them were sold at the St. James Country Store. Others were sold at the Miller Ridge Inn.
Nice.
And so I did that for a while, and then when the boys grew older, I was looking for a part-time job, and maybe something art-related. So one day I seen in the penny saver an announcement looking for an artist, which I said, okay, let's see what it is. The woman was looking for somebody to paint on t-shirts and sweatshirts, which was the thing to do in those days. So I said, you know, why not? Let me see what's going on. And I had nothing to show as far as painting is concerned, but previously I had taken a course in stained glass. So I did several stained glass projects, and one of them, somebody ordered a diving helmet in stained glass, and maybe I'd like to show you. I have a picture of it, then I did also dichroic class, jewelry and dichroic class, which is here too. So I brought her the photograph, if you want to pass it on. I brought her the photograph of the diving helmet, and I guess she said, okay, you know, yeah, you can come strut, you know.
You do the same glass, you can do it anything.
So anyway, so after the photograph, that's what I did. I painted on sweatshirts, I painted on t-shirts, and I really liked it a lot. And then they decided to go into airbrushing. I said, oh, something I have never done before, let me try it. If that's what they're doing, I'd like to be part of it. Well, I went to Suffolk Community College to take an airbrush course. I had my airbrush, I had my wonderful mask, and all the paints that go with it. So the class was starting, all the students were ready to paint. And as the painting started with the airbrush, the instructor said, wait a minute, I won't be part of it, I will leave the room. Because pigment, the airbrush color, the pigment, will settle in your lungs.
Oh, wow.
So I said, hold on for a minute. I don't think I like that very much. First of all, the mask on your face is not very attractive looking. And second of all, I don't want pigment in my lungs. So I did a little airbrushing at home. I would go outside and did shirts outside in the fresh air. But after a while, that's not for me. So then I've seen another announcement in a penny saver again, looking for an artist again. This time it was SGO, which stands for Stained Glass Overlay. And it wasn't Ronkonkoma, it was a company in Ronkonkoma. So they were looking for an artist to do designs. People had their glass front doors, and they wanted not a real stained glass, they wanted something similar to it. So it was like kind of foil that took place on the window, and it looked, from far away, it looks like the real thing.
It's an overlay, right? Like
It's an overlay, exactly. So I was happy doing that for a while until they went out of business. And in the meantime, I took some course, a watercolor course, and actually it was Doug Broadhurst, where I took the course with. He's a wonderful artist, really amazing what he's doing. And so I took that course, and he told me about the wet paint studio course. I said, that's very interesting, maybe one day I will take a look. And in the meantime, I got a job with the county. I took the test. Again, I became a civil servant, which interfered greatly with my life. It interfered with traveling, interfered with my art. And, but you know, my husband was self-employed and we needed the benefits.
Sure.
So it came in handy, the job, and I worked there for 20 years. I just recently retired from that job. In the meantime, I took some other courses. I took a course with Mel Staben, and I was in the city. It was right after 9/11, and that's where I met Paul Padovano. And he also told me about the wet paint studio course.
So I like wet paints. Paul's the Pied Piper, man.
Yeah. So he said, go check it out. So I took my courage and I said, all right, let me check it out. And then, you know, I came and I sat quietly in the back someplace. And I was very informative and very intimidating. And so these people are really great, you know, they're wonderful artists. But I kept coming back, and then I took other courses. I took courses with Tony Couch's work. I really admire a lot because I like to paint very loosely. I took a course with Leon Kwan-Sen, and he has a very different approach. These are paintings I did in his workshop. This one, the birds, and this one, the owl. So I really liked his approach to painting. His approach is you take the 3 primary colors and you pour them on the paper. And with the birds here, you put resist on the birds, and the rest you just start pouring colors. And then you do a lot of negative painting, and that's how you arrive. You get the trees, you get the grasses, you get the reflections, and then finally when you're done with that, you take off the resist and you finish the birds. And
what kind of paper is that?
That is, I work with a 140 watercolor paper.
Was it Arches?
That's Arches.
Arches, yeah.
And I also like Gemini paper, which is by Strathmore. And it's very forgiving paper. You can pour off the paint, squirt it off, scrub it off. As long as it's not staining paint, it'll be fine. So this I did in his workshop, and then the orchids I did in his workshop. Same thing here.
That's beautiful.
The orchids got locked out with resist. And then you take your 3 primary colors and you take a straw, you blow the paint. Like over here, you blow it either with straw or just blow it with your breath. And that's how you get that. And then you try to find the leaves. You negatively paint around them. Wherever you see something that could look like a leaf, you just go ahead.
You don't cover the white at all?
No, not at all.
With
Only in the orchids.
With what?
Only the flowers.
No, that's what I'm saying, they covered with the masking, right?
They're
The
covered
masking,
with
okay.
masking,
That's
yes.
it.
And so his approach is very different from what I'm used to, and I really like it. And then I took a course with him again, and this time it was with Asian brush painting, sort of.
Yeah, what Lori does.
Yes, what Lori does, but this is on mature Chuan paper. It's like a rice paper.
Yeah.
And he gave us a picture of the owl, so you did the owl and the rest you do on your own, whatever you want to put the branches, wherever you want to put the leaves. That's what you do with that. And then the background, you turn the paper around and you do the blue from the other side. And it peeks through.
And it shows through, right?
And it shows
This is
through.
so thin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Leon
That's really
Van
interesting,
Thin.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And then, that's how I started, I'll get off the track. When I first was in Germany, I came over here and this is a Russian chapel in my town. So I started off really tight, working really tight, and then just with pen.
Nice.
So this is one of my earlier paintings. That's how I started out before I did any watercolor or anything at all. And then I decided I want to try watercolor. So I found a little photograph with 3 fish.
Nice.
And I thought, oh my God, those colors are so gorgeous. I have to try it.
You're very good.
Yeah, so this is a second approach to watercolor. And that's the third approach.
Wow, that's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's when I, said, oh yeah, I really like that medium. It's
Yeah,
very,
it's so
very
easy.
challenging.
It's easy to, once you hit it.
It's challenging, and if you make a mistake, you just work with it.
It's paper.
You make it part of your painting,
That's it.
and then that is my first time you guys had a show someplace. I think it was at Falls Hill, and it was a juried art show, and I actually got accepted.
But I'm surprised.
With
You
that
know this.
painting.
You know this. You know,
And yeah, so that's what else? And then I painted this one. That's from a photograph my father took a picture of. It was in Italy.
That's really pretty.
And
I love the colors.
the colors, yeah, the colors are very vibrant. They're vibrant.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
yeah.
And over here is one of my earlier attempts, the greenish yellowish painting with the globe in the middle.
This looks like Germany on the Rhine.
This is correct. This my son's 30th birthday came up, and I painted the castle on the Rhine
Yeah,
River.
Castle on the Rhine,
Yeah, so it's Castle Rhinestein.
yeah. Yeah. Again,
But his is enlarged. This is just a play painting. Yeah, so there was another attempt. Then I tried my hand at painting my cat, which is over there. And
Could you take it
Yeah, could you take it down? It's hard to see with the
Oh,
light. The
okay.
light's in.
I'm sorry.
It's small enough to put around women's going
Yeah.
Nice.
My poor cat, he's not here anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor cat had diabetes, so,
Oh, boy.
yeah, but
What meteor is it?
this watercolor.
A watercolor?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This is good.
Then I love workshops, so I took a wonderful workshop in Italy, in Tuscany.
Yeah, I remember you told me when you went there. Yeah.
Which was wonderful. We stayed at a villa on top of a hill in Cortona, and the lady gave everybody a journal, so there's a few pages that I did in journal painting. This one, let me see, this one I want to show you. Where is it? Okay, this is the church in Cortona. I give it to you, maybe you want to take a look.
Yeah.
There's some pages in the front and some pages in the back.
Yeah.
The middle has nothing. Yeah,
I
so,
I like the pen and ink, that's cool, that looks familiar.
oh yeah, thank you very much. And
That's cool.
what else I did? I other workshops too. Yeah, I did Asian brush painting. I did a workshop in Asian brush painting, which eventually I want to incorporate in my watercolor paintings. But I'm still practicing. So now
Is
that
that
I'm
the
you
blue
studying?
jays there? Is that from the
it's a
Asian?
little bit that style, but it's not. The blue jays actually just recently it won first prize at the Brookhaven show.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, in the watercolor competition. So yeah, so I'm very happy that I was able to join this wonderful club and all these amazing artists. You learn so much.
Are these
And,
from photographs that you work with?
From photographs, this one is from a photograph.
Right.
The birds were from a photograph. This is a place where my husband and I always had picnics. That's the lighthouse. I forget where it is.
Is that out east?
It's out east, yeah.
Maybe.
Horton Point?
Yeah, Horton Point.
Horton Point,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
the lighthouse. in
That's the
Horton.
staircase that goes all the way down to the water.
Yes, exactly, but now you can't go there anymore because they boarded it off. And they really give you a hard time to go visit there. And,
Do you work in any other mediums?
no, this is the only medium I like.
I know, same way.
I totally love it. And hopefully I can devote some more time.
People who don't know,
Retire.
don't do watercolor don't realize how fast you can do a painting.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it
can.
really can.
Yeah.
If you really get good at watercolor, it can you can do a painting in 3 days.
I do.
You don't know, but you can. Whether it's loose or whatever, no, but you can now. You know, if you really try.
Roswitha, what about this one with the big pots? Is that like a recent or a first one? Or?
No, that's not no, it's someplace in the middle.
Okay.
I try to go to the garden places once a year. It's gardenconservancy.org. They open up gardens on Long Island and all over the country. So I went out to Mattituck, and there's 2 gentlemen on a big piece of property, and they have this wonderful garden. There's gardens inside of gardens, and there was one of the views. There had like two containers, 2 jars sitting there, and I said, let me paint that. I like that. But it's a wonderful place to go to. I think it's Dennis Schroeder.
You draw beautifully. You have a beautiful. You really do.
Oh, thank you
Really,
so much.
really do.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice.
Do you lay the whole picture out in pencil first? Or
I
you-
do the containers I did in pencil. The rest just came about.
Okay.
How it just happened.
To get that shrubbery like that, that's hard.
Huh?
It just happens.
Yeah, I know.
You're being cousins.
Yeah, I like anything art-related. I love to go to museums. My friend Robin, who's not here today, we sometimes go to the city 3 times a year. We go to the museum, the MoMA, and we go to other museums too. And just recently, last Sunday, I went to the Rubin Museum of Art. And I would highly recommend it. It's just a beautiful museum. It's in Chelsea. And it has Tibetan art. And it's just amazing what they offer. It's a jewel in the city, as far as I'm concerned. And I love all the galleries. In Chelsea, all the galleries. They're just amazing. And you see what's new. Some of it is a little crazy, but mostly it's very interesting to see.
Is there a lot of watercolorists in Germany that you don't see a lot?
I really wasn't interested in it
Not
at
a really
the time.
popular art form, no.
I don't know, it's not, I guess even if you go out east to the galleries, it's not that much watercolor. I think people like more the oil paints.
They don't like things with glass, that's the
The
thing.
glasses.
I tried going out to the east,
Is
they
that
don't want
what it
anything
is?
with glass.
No.
They won't take it. These, one that, a couple of artists here in galleries out there, and they won't take glass. They don't want any part of it. They're afraid of liability.
I'm afraid of it falls and injures somebody. Yeah.
Looks like mango.
So anything art related, I'm there, you know, I like to go to shows and, this,
Beautiful stuff.
it's so much, thank you very much.
Now with the glass, isn't there different types you could get?
Yes, some of it has,
Quality glass?
some of my glass is non-glare, not non-glare, which you have to paint on when you have it framed.
Really?
And others is just regular. I have a framer in Bohemia,
Yeah.
which is really,
Is
very
it much more
great.
expensive with the museum quality
Stairs.
glass?
It depends on the size. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. If it's the non-glare one, they charge a little bit more.
Does it change the color, the non-glare?
No, I
Is it
don't think
dull?
so, but if I had to choose.
Non-glare glass is how you look at it. If you
Yes.
look at it from a certain angle, it skews the painting, because
Yeah,
it's,
you're almost like looking at it
Yeah.
instead of the painting.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. yes.
So I do both. I do non-glare, I do glare. However, I just feel that
I use
the
plexiglass
time.
a lot.
That's interesting.
Plexiglass is fine.
You
Yeah,
do
it's
those
fine.
big things,
Exactly.
they'd be so heavy if you used glass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, plexi is easy, it's much, and it's safer too.
Yeah, but doesn't it alter it? No?
No, not if it's done right.
No?
No.
The most expensive part are the mats. You know,
What do you
usually,
do, when do you get your stuff? When do you get your stuff?
40?
Fody, okay, Fody.
Yeah,
we all
he's
know
what a
Fody.
wonderful
It
person.
is, it is.
Oh my God, did you see the write-up on him?
Yeah.
What a story.
I know.
Isn't that amazing?
Great.
This person came from Greek, he survived the ship disaster.
He's funny.
And he's funny, it's like he
He's a
really
funny
is.
man. He loves
yeah.
artists too.
He does, yeah,
Great
very
guy.
friendly person. And anytime I have something to be framed, that's where I go.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, so.
When they write them up?
Oh, there was a
Newsday.
newsday maybe a year ago, his story coming from
He's a
Greece.
writer.
From
From
Greece.
Greece, from Greece.
From Greece, he's great.
Yes. And how he established his business. I guess he put his brother through college,
Yeah.
and the brother told him, you know, wanted to do something for him, and then I think he established him with a framing business.
Yeah.
And his wife works in the office too.
Yeah, wife's a sweetheart.
And a very nice,
Very nice
the girl is very nice too. So
Tracy.
they're just very, very nice people.
I have a question. When you mask out the birds,
Yes.
how do you see where it is you put it down? It's clear, isn't it?
No, you can, it has a slight color in it, some is orange, some is bluish. You
Ah.
can buy it like that.
Uh-huh.
So
you
it
can actually
it
see what you're
sticks
doing.
out somewhat, yes.
Good. So are you actually painting the shape with the frisket or the,
Yeah, first I paint,
mask.
the frisket or biscuit comes with a
Mask
little
it.
brush.
yes, yeah.
And then you apply it around the bird and, cover the whole bird or just mostly the outline. Sometimes it's enough just to do the outline and the color won't bleed into it.
It's amazing how free you can get when you don't have to worry about the light.
I
You can go
know,
crazy.
I know, and you use the white, in watercolor I use the white, I don't paint white, I use the paper, the white of the paper is the color.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Yes, it's really pretty.
Yeah, thank you. So watercolor is my favorite medium.
Do you have plans to do anything differently with it or experiment in any way?
Yeah, like I said, I like to incorporate the Asian brush painting technique a little bit with it, and we'll see.
What were
You know,
you
where it
studying
leads me.
with?
I studied, well, I just only took workshops.
Oh.
I took a workshop with Mel Staben. They're all pretty much international artists. Wonderful art. Tony Couch, who is an international artist too, and he has the loose style, which I admire. Tom Lynch.
Oh, it's on Lynch.
Tom Lynch is very good, but very strict. If you don't do the painting exactly like he wants you to do, and I never do, if he places a rock over here, I feel like the rock should look better over there. It's a no-no.
That's the problem. when
I
you
don't
go with
like
somebody
that.
like
No,
that.
I don't.
You paint
I
your own
don't.
way. You
I
want
like
to be
to
your own
paint my
person.
own way, and I see it differently than they do.
Yeah.
And that could be,
They want you to be a clone.
Especially
and you don't
Tom
wanna be a clone.
Lynch is very strict. He's a great artist. He's fantastic.
He just emailed me.
He
He
did.
wants to do another show in Long Island
Oh, he owes me a lesson.
with the hurricane.
Yeah, the hurricane.
But it's like Bob Ross. Once you know a Bob Ross painting, everyone
Yeah.
knows it's a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you don't want to be your own painting. You don't want to
Right.
be somebody else's painting.
exactly.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and then, the other artist was Leon Fonsen, who I admire. His art is so different with the pouring technique, and he's just a wonderful artist too. And he's amazing. And he has workshops. He actually does his cooking workshops too, and incorporates his cooking, his Chinese cooking, someplace. And Tai Chi, I think he does at the same time in one of the workshops. And he's just very upbeat and a great artist. So it's,
Nice
I
size.
keep going to the workshops because I love it. And it gives me an excuse to paint and an incentive. And then I used to go home, had to go back to work, and then it was all good for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I learned.
Wow.
Yeah, some stuff sticks with you, of course.
Take from everybody, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and eventually you know what you want.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, yeah. It's vibrant colors, and I think it's Persian blue, what's in there, and I think I used a couple of different blues, and the red is probably rose. I use a lot of rose madder, and then cadmium orange or cadmium red I use in there. But I don't like to work with the cadmium colors that much. They're kind of not poisonous, but you have to be careful with all the cats,
Yes.
right? So
Very, very good.
don't be licking your fingers or whatever.
But most of the good pigmented paints are made with minerals,
Yeah.
real minerals, which you could be allergic, and they can be caustic.
Yeah, you have to just be careful. And,
I think the oil paints are more, more dangerous than the watercolors, I kind of feel.
I don't know.
Because you're using the oil paints, you use oil. Watercolor is just you diluting it with, with the
You're not
water.
really-
Yeah, but the colors are pretty intense, so
Yeah,
you're still
well-
getting a lot of the pigment density.
yeah, you have
So-
to.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but if you use them lightly and then you go over them, you're not, using them like oil paint.
You're really not breathing them in,
Yeah,
unless you spray them.
yeah.
Yeah, again, with the airbrush, you would have to be careful. You wouldn't have to wear that mask, but other than that, I don't think it's too harmful. So that is pretty much my story. Again, I love this club, and I'm very grateful to be part of it, be a member of it,
I
and
love you.
all these wonderful artists that you learn from. It's really amazing, and especially the demos are wonderful here. And the critiques, I've learned so much going to the critiques. It's amazing, where the shadow has to go, and don't put the horizon line in the middle of the painting. You don't know any of these things, and if you haven't studied it in school.
Right,
And,
those
you know,
are the
you
rules
learn.
that-
For a while it sinks in,
And then you lose it again, so it's like,
But sometimes I don't pay any attention to that either, I just
Yeah.
go the way I feel like it, and it's fun to.
sometimes the horizon right in the middle works, whatever
Yeah,
the difference
it
of the
does.
painting is, so
Right.
it's not steadfast, you can't do that ever,
Right.
you have to
No,
make
I
it work.
have one painting, I have it at home, I think I brought it in once. It was in Central Park, they had these orange flags.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
that
the-
is-
The gate.
The installation.
The installation, I did a painting, I thought it came out okay, and the horizon line was in the middle. It didn't matter,
Yeah,
because
sometimes.
the way those orange flags or
Drapes and.
grapes
I forget
were,
what they call
it
it.
was
Wall.
okay.
Gates.
Gates.
The gates, yeah.
That was incredible.
That was awful, that was amazing, it
Mhm.
really was. And they did other installations, they covered mountains, didn't they? They did all kinds of crazy things.
And then they took the scraps, from what I understand, they took all the gates and they cut them up. and they made carpets for like Homes for Humanity, Habitat.
Oh, really? Habitat for Humanity?
Right, for people that didn't have anything, and then
Oh,
they
really?
made the fabric into carpets for these people and other
Nice.
things,
All you have to do is have an idea.
Yeah,
Bill Gates.
Yeah, exactly.
I have one little piece of the Gates.
Oh, you do?
They actually were giving them away the
giving them
first,
out.
one day they were
Oh.
giving them out, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one somewhere, but I.
But it was, sometimes you think installation art, it's like, oh God, it's either too overwhelming for you to take in, or you figure, I paint 8 by 10, it's really not my thing, but I went with some friends from Wet Paints, and we got there, and everybody says New Yorkers can be so disrespectful, and you expect for the volume of people that were going to go through the park there, that there was going to be some kind of thing that you'd get annoyed at. I'm always expecting the worst, so. But we walked in, and it was like walking into a sanctuary. Everyone, people that had kids running around and dogs and everything else, everyone was respectful. Nobody touched the gates, nobody ran across anyone. Everyone was so respectful of the whole thing, the whole tour of it,
It was just beautiful.
It was, there were
Wasn't
no,
it snow at the time?
yes, it was a
Oh,
drizzly,
my God, it was
hazy
the
kind
orange
of.
and the snow and the dark of the trees.
The
and
landscape was gray, and the trees were kind of that grayish green, and it was a little foggy and misty, drizzly. So it was just like a really gray day, and then you had these orange
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
gates
great.
fluttering. in
And
the-
then did you notice people walking in the city with orange? That's what we noticed after we
Really?
left, is we kept
Oh.
seeing that color.
Really?
A scarf here, a hat there.
I was just so amazed that, even down to people with dogs, the dogs behaved, the kids behaved, everyone was so respectful. It was just,
Peaceful atmosphere.
it really did feel like you walked into a church or some kind of sacred place that everyone got it. It was really amazing. It was a wonderful
A
thing.
lot of
Well, New
times
York
art
is a
does that.
wonderful place.
Huh?
It does that to you.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
It really is amazing. We are so lucky to be on Long Island and have access to these wonderful places, to the city, and all this wonderful culture, all the museums, and it's amazing. I love Chelsea. Chelsea is just a wonderful place to go to. And the village is wonderful. I don't know if anyone has ever gone to the village. You've gone to the village. I took a food tour there recently, which was great too. It was wonderful. And it's just an hour and a half by train, and you're there, and you can enjoy all the culture. We're really lucky.
Yeah, really.
You don't want to leave, you do not want to leave New York.
No, to me it's when I take the train, and mostly I go with Robin again. You feel like you're on vacation. It's a altogether different place, and you step away from your everyday life, and you just immerse yourself in all this great stuff. Whatever you want, it's there.
Well, that's part of the fun of being an artist, is that you can get in on a little of that, and enjoy what you're doing.
And I also love photography. I take so many pictures. My husband and I, we travel a lot, or to a lot of the national parks. And every time I take a photo, it's with the idea of painting this picture one day, which I have millions of them at home.
Yes.
Well, you have a lot to keep you busy.
Yeah, so I have a lot of hobbies. I love gardening, and that to me that's like a canvas too. I go outside and I try to create a nice garden. And then last year, some kind of vine went up one of the trees, and it looked like a sculpture. So I said to my husband, rip it off the tree. I want to stand it in the garden, and it actually looks good. It's like a whole bunch of vines together. It's like it's so tall, and to me it looks amazing. So I love nature, I love gardening, I love photography, I love a lot of stuff. And sometimes all these ideas get in my head and I don't know where to start first. Do I paint, do I garden, do I do photography? Do we hike, do we go for a walk on Sunken Meadow? What do we do? And I just try to focus on one thing at a time.
Were you very young when you came to the United States?
When I
or-
came to the United States, I was 27.
Okay.
Yeah, like I worked already in the civil service.
Did you speak, you spoke English, correct? I mean, they teach English
it's
pretty much.
mandatory in school.
Mandatory in school, right?
But the first job I had, it's like I didn't have children, and I worked for Austin Variety. We lived in Sayville, and it's a moving company. And you had to quote prices over the telephone.
Right.
Well, I had a heavy accent at the time. So needless to say, I didn't last that long. They said, we love you to death, but no one can understand you.
So that's the guy with the internet.
So that was kind of, I was upset at the time because I thought I was doing wonderfully.
Yes.
But,
So I
yeah.
needed a dictionary.
Yeah, so, and what else I found out too, like if I would go to the store, like go to the deli and order something off the shelf, again with my accent, people, they didn't understand what I was saying, and people here are very fast-paced as compared to Germany. In Germany, people would listen and say, well, I wonder what she's saying. Here's it's like, they don't get it the first time, forget it.
That's New York.
Forget it, you know, so next time we'll just point. Give me that.
Although Germans speak fast, a lot of them.
Well, they do,
Yeah.
but it's still a slower pace. When I went back to Germany to visit, I noticed that my friends, they were moving slower. Here we're fast paced, we go from one thing to the next. And then it was annoying to me, then I went back and people were moving so slowly. It's like, what's going on here? I'm not used to this anymore.
We live in New York, and that's.
I know, you get used to it. Same thing when you go to Florida. It's like very annoying.
Yeah.
You go to a department store, and people are just leisurely, how you doing, and oh please, come on, just give me this, you know. This,
Just three-quarters of them are over 70, that's why.
they chitty chat for, you know, how's the family, and I just want to get my blouse or whatever I'm buying. Like, no, it'll take forever.
Yeah.
But you know, it's probably a better way of life, you know, it's like, come on. Same thing in Germany, when you go, I think people enjoy life a lot. You go, you know, you go out with your girlfriend or your family and you go to the restaurant. You know, here sometimes you feel, okay, we ate, we go home, that's it, you know, you inhale your food and you're done and it's time to go home. There, people go out to the garden restaurants. And they sit there leisurely with a glass of wine. They do people watching. It's a main thing there. They watch what's going on around you, and they sit there with their glass of wine and pizza or whatever they decide to eat. And they sit there for hours, and it's you know, it's very nice just to take the time and relax a little bit.
Yeah. That's what we don't do, is relax.
We don't do that much here.
But you get 6 weeks vacation free.
Oh, you get so much vacation. That's another thing when oh my God.
That doesn't happen
Yeah,
here.
it's funny, it's right, you don't get any vacation when you come here. I started working with the civil service, with the county.
You gotta work free here before you
Oh
get
my
anything.
God, you got a week's vacation. There in Germany, it depends on your age, it depends when you first start, you get several weeks.
Yeah,
You
6
know,
weeks
4, 6 weeks.
vacation.
As you get older, you get even more weeks.
That's why they're going broke.
Yeah, that was inside. That was inside in the at the villa. That was the outside of the villa.
Very nice.
And then there was one of the windows inside the villa, and everything. And that's just another view from the window. Yeah, and that was inside the where we were dining. It was totally amazing. Oh my God, it was the best vacation ever in Tuscany. Oh, thank you so much. So we were sitting, there was the watercolor artist, and then they had the oil painters. There was 2 groups, and we were sitting there, Oh my God, it was so wonderful. They served us wine with the meals. There was a 3 or 4 course meal every night. The host of the villa would sing and play the guitar, and they would hire local artists. And then during the day, we would take little trips in minivans. We went to Florence, we went to the Etruscan areas, and it was just a great vacation. It was expensive, but it was a great vacation.
What tour did you go on?
It was just one of the artists advertised that she was holding a workshop there, and it was just, we did a little drawing, maybe an hour a day or so. Sometimes we went outside, at the sites, we were sitting down, just did a little drawing. And then when we came back, you either did some or you didn't do anything, just enjoyed the day.
Very nice, yeah.
It was a good vacation.
One day?